Alright, first off, I ain't playing no games with you. The first argument is overarchingly they have already lost fundamentally because they have not read one piece of evidence that serves the niggas. Now, my articulation of him trying to understand what that word means is an understanding of how Judy explains it. Now, I get into the articulation of the cards in which it means how the topicality argument that they ran is deeming us as a bad nigga, but understanding Negro is identification of something, somebody as commodified or somebody that does something for white. I want to point out every argument that they gave in that last speech was some selfish ass shit. When we talk to the idea, what's relevant to the idea of what's productive, you have to ask questions, productive for who? Now let me tell you this. They said, Rashid, the law is the law. And that's gold chain and telegraph, and white folks saw and you walk. You see, the debating ain't fun, you see that thought is a flaw, because niggas dying in the game, so while you having a ball and all. See, they always remember that look on your face, because that's who single-handedly had killed their fantasy in space, and you and Georgia enemy an avenue to escape, but this struggle make you sour, won't you give us, but say, see, right now, niggas on crutch. We ain't got no time, so won't you make killing they vibe, some gratuitous violence, see, and maybe sufficient enough for some fake-ass solvency and shit, but I guarantee this is sufficient enough to make these suckers evolve and shit. See, reality of imagination. She remember you was baby, you was bullshit, you used to play with, okay? I was elementary, but still, that shit is crazy. The life you living is real, only the privilege can play with. Spin it till you down to the hoods, revamp, make them understand your thoughts. The white folks need camps, make them respect your thoughts. The whole word that I say, make them respect their thoughts. The whole word that I say, understanding how you moving through human aspirations for the future when your presence stuck in ruins, looking ruined. You steady dreaming your dreams, but they pursuing you. See, your pain is a language. It's one you speak in fluent. I say your kids ain't here waiting on their chance to get influence of that street life. Mama's in pain, gotta get her through it. I say them books is looking useless. Fathers making up excuses, growing up foolish. Wanna curse anybody that said you choose it. You always awake while them other folks are snoozing. Your bank account's a score and the score say you losing. You more than what the media says. You wanna prove it, but niggas die fast, so fast money's a solution. Fuck these naysayers. What they say is usually hella boozy. Take away their money and they privilege down the corner right with you and say eugenics said be happy that your mother ain't abort you. The biggest killers the Black Seas is poison in the soil. Your ancestors built pyramids more powerful than Goku. Your family built America, now America exploit you. Shit, make millions off your culture, use you as a commodity. Act like KRS-One don't exist in our rapper speakers misogyny. I think of Marissa Alexander, black woman, pregnant with her husband Steve. She got 20 fucking years, this nigga ain't even bleed. But America don't care. They only worried about greed. I wish I could fly one shot to make these motherfuckers see. And the law can't help you when it was created to deceive. That's the reason why Messley and Zimmerman is out here living free. Next thing I want to say, I met a kid from Detroit, I swear he was optimistic. And them powerful girls, all of them sisters gifted. My Chinese boy from Brooklyn, but that's true. He asked me what's the next step, I told him, brother, that's you. And all them ghetto kids that I see now in Baltimore, I swear they take me back. I reminisce like the Commodores. See, I remember when I was homeless up in Oakland back in the days, my life was up and down. Days was roller coaster. See, I'm still broke, but back then, I swear my mind was tainted, nigga. I ain't speak English, partner. I just spoke English. I was mad at the system. I was mad they love us. I was mad when I be up in Berkeley with my brothers. I lived in the outer city because they always at the South. They didn't care about the problems. They didn't want to figure out. My debate up in Oakland said she want to make this work. Now the privilege gotta listen. Now they gotta see the hurt. See, now they gotta see the pain. I been spilling from her brain for the first time. On top of that, she think they understand. Boy, I swear it's cold. Switching the code. Shit, I be debating about the future. Debating on old shit. All that stuff from speaking inside the room. I talked about the next level last year. It turned out that it was true. Because you talk about your problems and they understand you back. And you talk about the solutions. You getting texted. My youngsters is challenging this quote. You know I gotta scream out. Shout out to Manny up in Philly. You know I gotta scream out. I speak about my life and the hurt come with that shit. I'm just saying. Next level, I'll bring some purpose to this shit now. First of all, I want to identify that the case arguments that they made when they talk about rejection of the U.S. all together is understand makes whiteness worse. Understand this. The impacts that we're talking about inside of the United States federal government or oppression and police violence and those things, a lot of those times when people ask me questions inside of debates, it's weird to say, how can you solve for those things, right? Because I come up in an age where I know that whatever I say in this debate round ain't gonna happen. I can't be like, oh, all the mama's gonna get off crack after I get this solvency and he gives me a ballot. I know that shit not gonna happen. So it's very confusing to me when somebody says, how do you make something go happen on the outside? How do you make police violence stop happening? How do you stop Trayvon from getting killed? The understanding in itself is here's denied the fact that we have deconstructed the normative system within this space that allows for those things to happen, such as things like tea. Now, when I'm gonna get to that later, but when he made that argument about rejection of the state completely only makes whiteness worse, what he really said was that, nigga, don't reject, nigga, don't fight back because what's only gonna do is make you worse. Nigga, you a slave, and if you act like that, turning, you gonna get your ass killed. That's the argument that's made, and this is the reason why you must reject those type of ideologies. First of all, the impacts that we're talking about are already inevitable. What they gonna do? Hang us, kill us, reject us, be racist. All of those things are inevitable. Give me one impact that ain't already happened to the black body, and I'll say, all right, you you got it. It shows you in itself that those arguments are made out of a coalition that's not only non-unique, that George is talking about, that's ran every fucking time, but it also shows how those things are so willing, the white is so unwilling to engage with the nigga to the point that I would say anything to not have to engage. The argument about personal experience, first of all, let me say it. I can say it more specific. Julie says, when the OG gets to his further point about the process of consuming rap at a time more than niggification with the white suburban youth, he is doing more than remarking the inevitability of pop culture and dimension. He is also remarking the quality of the inevitable loss of experience as commodified effect. This is the age of hyper-commodification, which the experience has to come to be commodified. There's a commodification of the nigga that designates the scene of particular excellence. The commodification is on doing that of these commodities. Niggas a commodity effect. The OG exhibits, the OG exhibition of this is at hand, reminding us that it comes with the rhyme coming from experience. It's coming from that hand, claiming that it's virtually everyone within the commodified effect of the experience of the nigga. Understand that, Judge. I'm gonna put it in play for you. Hip-hop is something that's already been commodified. These raps, white folks can act like they don't know what the fuck I'm saying. It's the backgrounds, but I guarantee you, I go to any J. Cole concert, any Big Crit concert, any Lil Boosie concert, I swear to God, it's all white people singing every motherfucking lyric. It shows you how not only is hip-hop already commodified, but the intelligence they do understand it and refuse to identify that that is something that is valuable. It's not productive. It's not relevant to the debate. But also, it also shows you how this idea of commodification only becomes unique. It's only being enabled to fight back once I give my personal experience. My personal experience, when George talks about looking at his what AC, about his daddy having 15 and Carl doing 15, all these type of experiences is unique to Boosie. It's not Big Crit. Big Crit's experience is totally different. That is our empirical evidence. The same way you read any of those authors that you read down in what AC, this shows you how our experience within this space is a unique way that we engage against that oppression, which they have not identified. Not only that, Judy also says what it means to be a nigga is the moral question of the existential question of what it means to be human. Judy 94 says, a way of being the most bold-rooted experience is available to the appropriation of working nigga a function of the discoursive quotation of experience that are authenticated by the variable resistance to the dominant forms of power. It is a crucial aspect of the hardcore rap that strives to oppose and problematize the technologies of the government and constantly says that an expression of overflowing energy to the pregnant with the future. Now let me explain this real quick, because I don't want you to have no time when you think I'm not explaining these arguments. The T argument is, I'm gonna be real blatant for you. People run T because it's not doing shit for white folks. It is the most selfish argument that I can ever think of. You haven't did anything productive for me. When you say productivity in education, I think the conversations on Big Crit, I think the conversations on what's happening in institutional structural violence is a productive conversation and debate that we can have. The same way that the kids don't talk about in Baltimore, the kids don't talk about in Oakland, think that's a productive conversation. The white doesn't deem that as good and doesn't deem me as a Negro. That's why I'm acting as a nigga. It's identification itself that you don't have any evidence to say why the nigga is bad. That's why you're not answering me, because you're treating me like a Negro. See, he won't say nigga, but I guarantee you, I'll bet $5 if he would say Negro and have said Negro in any type of book. It shows you how that is okay to be inside of the language, and it's always okay to be deemed, because white has been together. If you know what I'm saying, the Negro is the person who commodifies the white, that tries to survive it. You know, goes to work, he does the tie, and speaks inside the white vernacular, and does everything he can. This is not identification of being critical towards him, but he is not the thing that me and George are embodying when we reject that state and say, fuck it. And what they see, he said, I'm feeling like hustling. Big Crit was identifying that I feel like hustling, meaning I'm not going to work for the white man. The identification itself is that I'm going against the system to produce something for myself. Judy 94 is trying to identify that niggas define authenticity as an adaptation of force of commodification. Authenticity and producing every value that is precisely displacement of political economy and its economy. It shows you how when you talk about war restrictions and for the president, that don't matter, because even if the president doesn't restrict the power to kill me, it's anybody else's war power to kill me. That's why war power is restricted against niggas, not just the president's war power restricted against the nigga. This faulty claim of like you have to say this in order to be sufficient to me is not only faulty, but it still allows us to have impact, the reason why they lose. Nigga? Yeah. They taking purpose out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
That was actually in 16 seconds. Okay. Why is debate a productive space to have these conversations?
Debate is a productive space because it gives people like me a voice. You just said we all get a certain amount of time to speak, right? So for that certain amount of time, you gotta listen to me. Now, whether you engage and say anything, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so it's like captive audience is useful because it like forces people to engage with
with
They steal my kids out the hood. It's a whole bunch of different reasons why. So wait, I think it's an educational
Can I
thing.
give you a core good example? Before I came into debate, I was probably more sexist, patriarchal, and homophobic. Through this activity, I've been able to hold on. Through this activity, though, by debating other subject positions, I've been able to learn how my subject position relates to another subject position and how I can either be oppressive or not oppressive to that position. That's the productivity that we get out of these type of conversations. How I was able to learn that education through these type of conversations.
Right. Another question. You made an argument that it's difficult for you to say things like, here's how we'll solve the violence that occurs in the streets, because like you personally know that that stuff is probably never going to go.
Reality over imagination.
Right, okay, so why is that a reason why it's impossible to postulate, like, you know, affirmative or governmental action?
Hey, can I ask you a question too? Hey, the way you talk about topicality, the way you want us to run our affirmative would always make it where we would never be able to discuss whether niggas should be targeted, killed, or detained. We'll always talk about who targets and kills, i.e. like the judicial government.
I think
so you do provide a space to talk about the niggas?
Sure, like why not?
When?
I don't understand why it's, that's what I'm trying to get at. What's incompatible between that?
What's incompatible between what?
The, you know, discussing.
I feel like the Judy piece of evidence was talking about how the nigga is always resisting government.
Yes, it is.
Hey, that's a topic.
All right, this is the question, right? You know, when you see me, and I know you know this person I'm using, when you see Brian, there's a two distinctions, right? It's different to be a black heterosexual male and to be a black homosexual male, right? So it's different to be African American and to be a nigga, right? You understand?
I definitely understand.
So I think that your evidence, and I think you say that your evidence pertains to those African Americans in the generic way to say race and personal experience is bad, but you haven't had anything to say about niggas.
I don't think that we've ever forwarded the claim that just because it speaks to.
And I can, hey, critic, I know you got your head in the head back there. I can explain to you what a nigga is in the most prolific way. It's the person that is in rejection of the system that doesn't follow the way whiteness does. It is the reaction to slavery and the oppression that we have with slavery. They have no evidence to identify that, so I just want to make it clear for you, because you know what I'm saying? I don't know who my nigga up in here, but I'm identify what
why
really
is it
is.
impossible to reject whiteness while also engaging within institutions?
What you mean?
Why is it impossible to reject whiteness while also engaging?
We at a university
is whiteness.
I get it. It's like,
but look what he's asking though, it don't make sense. Like, we at a university right now, like, how is that question relevant? We are rejecting whiteness within an institutional thing that deems this type of knowledge as more significant than the stuff that we spend about. That's the reason why we deconstruct
the crux of the tension that I'm getting at, because you make the argument that you can't use the government because the government is whiteness.
Who said you can't use the government? I said the government fundamentally don't fuck with me. Like, I'm not, it's inevitable that it's gonna fuck with me. Did it fuck with Trayvon? Please, sir.
That is not what I'm
Trayvon,
I don't agree with you there.
Fuck Maurice Alexander, it don't fuck with us.
I was you saying though shit on TV, like shit to say.